And Michael called me and said that he was going to call off this wedding and that he was going to give her money to go back to Ukraine and buy her a plane ticket.
Do you want me to go home?
I said...
I don't understand.
I called...
You said your mom, you want me to go home?
No, I
don't understand.
Mike, say something. He was at a loss for words after his mom claimed that he was preparing to send Natalie home before he actually called off the wedding. Of course, Mike denied that.
I had no intentions of sending you home.
But now the question is his mom lying or is he?
This timeline is just a little,
confusing, yes. I still don't get it. In addition to that not adding up, his mom also admitted to calling Tamra the night before the wedding to ask her to object during the ceremony.
Damn.
Some of the other 90 Day cast members thought she was so wrong for doing that. But was she really? I have my opinions, which we'll get to in just a few. Plus,
I will not let him control me ever again.
Andrew and his luscious hair made a dramatic exit after producers told him that Amira will only tell her side of the story if she doesn't have to see or talk to him.
This is unfair, and I'm not gonna accept this style here.
Speaking of unfair, Yara was brought to tears after she had to watch Jovi's strip club bachelor party in front of everyone for the first time.
Damn, Mike, I thought y'all had it bad.
This was part 1 of the Season 8 Tell-All. Let's get into it. Hey 90 Day fans fam, it's Melicia. You know what's interesting about these tell-alls is that you realize how many couples don't actually watch the show. Which I guess is understandable. It's a way to distance yourself from all the pressures and opinions.
A private dance in a strip club in America is not that big of a deal.
I personally will want to be emotionally prepared. It's a lot, as we're about to see. All right, Mike and Natalie. These two arrived at the tell-all separately and mad at one another. Shocker. When they were asked why, here's what they had to say.
You know each other or not? I mean, like, why you come separate, guys?
I don't know why we come separate, Mike.
We just came in, yeah, we got 2 separate rides here.
Mike, we've seen you and Natalie at your worst. Don't hold back now.
Right on set, please. Here we go.
Even though they were mad at each other, or should I say Natalie was mad at Mike, once they got on set, it seemed as if they made some sort of pact before they arrived to not speak on certain things. Because when Sean would ask Mike a question, Natalie would give him this death stare. Like, you better remember what we talked about. But after the season they just had, I don't think being quiet is gonna make a difference.
Natalie, when you arrived at the studio this morning, you seemed like you were a little upset.
Mm-hmm.
What was bothering you? Was there any, conflict between you and Mike that contributed to how you were feeling this morning?
No.
Natalie, why did you and Mike arrive separately to the studio this morning?
I'm not answering.
You don't want to answer?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you want to answer?
Because I don't.
Oh, okay, Natalie. By the way, she wasn't wearing her ring. She said she left it at home because she didn't want it to get stolen. You be the judge on whether you think she's telling the truth or not. Let's go ahead and get into their wedding drama. They replayed clips from the day before Mike and Natalie's original wedding date and the day Mike called off the wedding. Natalie didn't watch the episode, so of course, seeing it for the first time had her in tears. Mike went on to explain that the night before their wedding, he started to feel lost.
I was just feeling lost.
So he left the house in the middle of the night to go down the street to some lake where there was no phone service to try to find some peace of mind. When Natalie couldn't find him, she assumed the worst. She thought he went out to cheat on her before their wedding. Now, if you don't think this situation can get any messier, enters Mike's mom, who made it seem like Mike's decision to call off the wedding to Natalie was premeditated and not the cold feet last minute decision as he described.
And Michael called me and said that he was going to call off this wedding and that he was going to give her money to go back to Ukraine and buy her a plane ticket.
I don't think.
I had no intentions of sending you home.
I know, but Mike, that's what your mom just said. She said you talked and you said you were going to call off the wedding and give her money to go back to Ukraine.
That was after she left, we talked. It wasn't before.
It was just days before the wedding when he told me that.
It should not be this hard to understand this story. Why is it so confusing? I don't know if this is a situation where his mom thinks she's in the loop with their relationship, but she's really not, and she's getting the dates mixed up. If that is the case, Mike didn't do a good job at explaining what really happened, which just makes it suspicious.
I said,
I don't understand.
I called
Please, you said your mom, you want me to go home?
no.
Speak now, or forever hold your peace, Mike. Let's talk about the fact that his mom did admit to calling Tamra the night before their wedding to tell her to stand up and object during the ceremony. That's a lot of responsibility to put on someone else.
They get married. It seemed like Mike was very happy on his wedding day. So do you still wish they had not gotten married?
When she comes here and she wants to change everything about him and change his lifestyle and change who he is and what he does and everything else, I'm not real thrilled with that.
Because he's an adult and he can make his own decisions?
Exactly, I agree with you. Yeah.
You're his mother?
If it was your child and you've seen your child being treated badly and whatnot, wouldn't you not be happy?
I have 3 grown children. I have a son. I would never do that.
Hold up. Okay. I love Rebecca, but I don't think she has any room to chime in on this. Her kids had to step into parent mode when it came to her situation. They didn't necessarily treat her like an adult, and it was because they were worried. They might not have objected to her wedding, but they followed her to the airport and confessed to putting Zied through a number of tests. Luckily, Rebecca and Zied's situation got better, but Mike and Natalie, their relationship is still toxic. So while I get the fact that Mike's a grown man and his mom shouldn't have asked Tamra to object, I also understand that a mother will go to extreme lengths to protect her child, grown or not. So next time, maybe Mike shouldn't call his mommy when things hit the fan with Natalie and get her involved. Then they won't have this issue.
There you go. You good?
After all this went down, Natalie gave Mike the silent treatment during their lunch break.
Y'all done?
That was a high school flashback moment. Wow, definitely. All right, let's switch gears and quickly take a look at Yara's reaction after she watched a clip where Jovi went upstairs in the strip club and got a private dance from a stripper. Once again, this is her first time watching it. I don't know how she didn't hear about it or why Jovi didn't even warn her that this might pop up, but let's take a look.
It makes me really mad. Like, I don't think it's respectful to me as your woman to put a stripper on you and sitting and talking and hugging her. It's unrespectful to me. Why would you put some woman to your knees when you have a woman waiting for you at home? But he's a grown-ass man, and I can't tell him what to do. Like, what, should I scream on him? Should I yell? Should I do what? Being a psycho for he doesn't go there?
Girl, yes. All of the above. No, I'm just joking. Well, kinda. I will say this. Jovi is a lucky man to have found Yara because not that many women will take all of what he comes with.
Oh my goodness, I was not prepared for this.
Jovi's mom also reacted to her son's behavior by saying that she was disappointed and she wished she could just shake him.
So Gwen, is there anything that you want to say to your son right now?
I probably can't say on TV.
Ooh, Gwen.
All right, lastly, Andrew walks out of the tell-all after Amira refuses to have contact with him.
So to respect Amira's request, which is to not face you, to not be in direct contact with you, we have to do these separately.
So we're gonna have to ask you to leave for the segment.
But that makes no sense because this is a tell-all and we're talking about the story and we're going through the graveyard of it. And I think we kind of have to do that in the same room. Just don't show me on the camera.
We have to respect her wishes on that.
I'm just gonna go home.
I'm not a huge fan of Andrew and Amira's situation, but I get why he was upset. He said that facing her was the reason why he came to the tell-all in the first place. And everyone is having tough conversations, so why can't they? But according to Amira, her anxiety won't allow it. Next week, we hear straight from her. Plus, we hear from Tariq, Hazel, and their ex-girlfriend, Minty.
I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
I would never call her a liar, but the story seems bogus to me. I think they're both lying.
If she have girlfriend, this means like Tariq have two girlfriend.
They all three have sex.
Together Tariq have sex?
Minty and Hazel, has there been intimacy between the two of you?
I'm never going to do that. I don't know why. So am I lying now?
So let me explain.
Whew. All right, 90 Day Fans fam, make sure you stick with ET because as usual, we are covering it all. I'll see you next time.